STMK Radio 100.
Have you or a loved one used Roundup Weed Killer and have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? You may be entitled to compensation. Call 1-800-497-5770. In an August 9th, 2019 Bloomberg News story, it was reported that Bayer AG is proposing to pay as much as $8 billion to settle more than 18,000 lawsuits, alleging its Roundup Weed Killer was responsible for the plaintiff's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Strict deadlines may apply, so call 1-800-497-5770. That's 1-800-497-5770 for a free case review today.
What's up, y'all? I'm Sharita Cherry from Hotlanta. And to all my hairstylists out there, I listen to Radio 100, STMK, Radio 100.
You're listening to STMK Radio 100.
Dropping that heat. Dropping that heat on the turntables.
It's time to take a break. Play me some Marvin Cease or some Marvin Gaye. Call me later because I won't be at home. I'm going out tonight because I feel like it, you know. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I'm not gonna sit around all night long. I'm gonna dance until the morning comes. I'm gonna let all of my troubles go. It's 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm ready for more. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. Said I came out. Yes, I did. To have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. You see, all you want to do is go out and have a good time. You're not going out to pick up anybody, right? All you want to do is let go some frustrations because you've had a hard and a hell of a week. You got your money, you got your ride. Go ahead on and have yourself a good time. You know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to say. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I came out, yes I did. To have a good time. That's all. Oh yeah, said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I've worked hard all week and it's time to take a break. Play me some Marvin Cease or some Marvin Gaye. Call me late because I won't be at home. I'm going out tonight because I wanna get it on. I came out to have a good time. Yes, I did. That's all. Said I got my money and I got my whiskey. Because tonight, oh yeah, real tipsy. I came out, yes I did. To have a good time. That's all.
Tell you something, we gotta stop the violence, we gotta vote. Stop the violence and vote.
This is Tassie Hawthorne from sunny California, and I listen to STMK Radio 100. 100. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on Facebook Live.
This is Tassie Hawthorne from sunny California, and I listen to STMK Radio 100. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on Facebook Live.
You're listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 with your host, Shawn L, Let, and Tone the Stone on STMK Radio 100, 100, 100, 100.
Yes, this is a PSA, a public street announcement. You are now listening to a kickback production. Light up your L's, lean back, and listen.
Stop the madness. Keep it 100. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100 with your hosts, Shawn L, Let, and Tone the Stone. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 with live call-ins, heated discussions about current events, politics, national news, weather, and sports. Join our live online chat room and let your opinion show. Download our phone app. Also, don't miss our pre-election day coverage. Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. Come join us from 6 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. The best talk show on the web is here on STMK Radio 100. Call us at 1-866-484-7865. That's 1-866-484-STMK. Stop the madness. Keep it 100.
Far too many of us want to throw in the towel before we've thrown up the prayers.
Dr. Tony Evans says Christians have a habit of underusing or overlooking our most valuable spiritual resource.
Grace is available, but only at the throne, and you can only approach the throne through prayer.
You can deepen your connection with the Lord through our in-depth course on Kingdom Prayer at the Tony Evans Training Center. You'll discover how God has wired the world to work by prayer and experience for yourself how it connects heaven with earth and time with eternity. You'll not only gain a new understanding and appreciation for prayer, you'll actually pray in transforming ways you've never experienced before. The course is intense, but you can work through it at your own pace and get all the help you need through our online forum. And, of course, there's custom content from Tony not available anywhere else. Connect with the Tony Evans Training Center at tonyevans.org. It's like having a seminary on your smartphone or other device. Start today. tonyevans.org.
Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. 100.
Hey, welcome back. We got a treat for you, and everybody need to sit back. You heard a couple of CDs, and we're going to play some more music in the Blue Room. Back, Tony Stone, that was really, really great. We talk a lot about politics. We talk a lot about killings, police shootings, and everything else like that. Today, we're going to change up what we're going to talk about. We have on the phone with us a bishop who do spiritual music, and we're happy to have him with us. And he's the pastor of New Jerusalem Spiritual House of Prayers out of Omaha, Nebraska. You might have heard him on At the Table with the Reverend Bill Miller on his show, and everybody was asking about that CD, and he's going to tell us about that CD today. I want to welcome Bishop Roy W. Smith Sr. with us on the air today. And Bishop, I'm pleasure to have you with us.
Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Bishop. This is a change up for us right here. With all the violence going on and all the politics, it's good to change up and talk a little spiritual stuff, because right now the world is lacking guidance, and hopefully you can give us the word and give some people some help right here. But we listened to your CD, and they going to play some songs after that. You're going to be live in the Blue Room, and I'm gonna, before we get into your CD, I want to ask you, how did you get into spreading the word of the gospel and ministry, and how did you know what your calling was?
Well, you see, I grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I got married in '75, and my wife and I, we was in church, and I was on the usher board, and I sang in the choir, because I used to sing in the band in New Orleans, and I used to imitate James Brown. But I did not realize that God was going to call me in the ministry like that. And because I was saying, God, who am I to tell you people what to do and how to do? Who am I? And for some strange reason, I had a way of getting across to people, like where we at now, where at the church that we at now, we have homeless people. We even had the gang kids that was around there. Right now, where we at now, we don't even have that type of problem because, like I said, we try to minister to the people and to show them love because they all are God's people.
So let me ask this: what did you get into music before you got into the church, or was this music was a thing for you, or was this was something you discovered while you was actually spreading the word?
I was in the choir and was in the band at the same time. And then, like I said, after we moved to Omaha, Nebraska, and then I got more into the church. And then before I know it, they asked me to be on the deacon board. And all this is how it's all changed over for me. I was really running from the word. I didn't want to do the job, let's put it that way. Because I felt like I wasn't really worthy to be telling God's people what he said. I felt like I was like Moses, shall I say. And like I said, I had a great impact on the kids at the school. And I worked at Burt High School. I got viral over there, and it went all over the world. And I was ministering to them in a way that I know we couldn't bring religion into the school, so I had to minister to them in a different way. So I sang, blues or jazz or whatever it may be that I can get their attention.
So you mentioned Ann. Is that your wife?
Maurice Ann, yes, that's my wife.
Okay.
We've been married for 4 years.
Okay, so she brought you into started your ministry with you.
Yes. We like tag team partners right now. Yeah, she's the pastor and I'm the bishop now.
Oh, she's a pastor. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
We tag team partners now. She sang in the choir. She directed the choir and everything too.
Well,
so we go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bishop. You go ahead.
So we have 3 lovely kids and 3 granddaughters. We had 2 girls and 1 boy. The boy is in the middle. So, but his name is after me. So I told my wife, no, we're gonna name him Junior. She said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, yes, we are.
So is Ann in the room with you today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So you got the pastor started. So you led the choir. Were you the inspiration for him putting out this fabulous CD?
Yes, I was, because I wanted him to get back into his music and sing the way he did when we first met each other. And so that's when I talked it over with the producer, who is Joe Taylor, and brother Fred Charles, the guitars. And they told me that in due time he would make up his mind. And when he made up his mind to produce the CD, they would be there for him.
Well, let me ask you this question. What made you get into ministry?
Well, I grew up in the church, and I always loved working with the young people. And when God called me into the ministry, I was kind of running too, but I always did things within the church. Usher, Sunday school superintendent, then the superintendent for Sunday school. And from there, I was a missionary, and then I accepted my calling in the ministry about 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. So let me go back here. You said there's some other people. Who else is in the room with y'all? You mind introducing them to us?
I have the manager for the group, Sister Lisa Spencer, and she's here along with us in the studio with Brother Fred Charles, who introduced himself earlier, and also Brother Joseph Taylor.
Oh, okay. Joseph Taylor, that's the producer and everything of Living Soul Productions. And people, if you in Omaha and you need to get into some music or you need some work done, that's the place to look out for. I hear that's a very good production studio, and it's just started up about 2 years ago. Am I correct?
Yes, and he's an outstanding individual in the music, and he's very gifted. And all you have to do is give your idea what you want to sing, your music, and his vision is they breathe breath into your vision.
Now, see, that's what we're talking about right here. We want to produce and push good news, and especially in the city of Cleveland, we're producing all new artists and stuff that comes up around, and we want to get that out there. So, while I have you on, Mrs. Smith, I don't want to call you Ann on air, but Mrs. Smith, can you tell everybody how they can get a hold of the Pastor CD, or is there a special website they can go to, or Amazon?
They can go to the website. It's called livingsoulproductions.com. Go in and you will see the website. Also see a picture of the CD on there. Also, you can play one of the tunes called Heal Me Jesus. It's on that website also. The CD is $12, and they can they can send it directly to the individual when they go ahead and request it.
Okay. Hey, Pastor, Bishop Smith, I'm sorry about that, but Bishop Smith, we was listening to your CD, and I know there's a track on there that you wrote, "Heal Me in Prayer" or "Heal Me Prayer." Was that a special one for you, or how did you get the agenda for that one?
Well, this would happen. We was doing a live set at the studio, and he added that on to that. I didn't know Brother Joe was going to put that in there. So when it happened, we got kind of happy in the studio, and he just recorded all that in there.
Oh, okay.
That's how they got on it.
And we also, I was because we listened to the CD, and there's one song on there that everybody loves, and it's a standard song for everybody, but you put a different agenda on it, and it's not the same, because most people go R&B and blues with it. A change is going to come. Track 10. Did you and the group just have something come to you, or was that something that you was going to remake in your own style?
It just came that way, and we just did a remake of it. And what it is, Brother Joe and Brother Fred, when they play that music, they know how to get me going with it. They know how to get me tickled up to sing the way they do it. I said, guys, why y'all do me like that? Y'all know how I am. I'm like Michael Jackson. Put a mic in my hand, and
you just gonna say now? See, that's what I'm talking about. You got two songs that you feature people on there, like the one song, "Heal Me Now." You featured Lisa Spencer, which was a pretty good song.
Yeah.
Is she like your lead vocalist, or your backup?
Back up. My backup. She said, I could do something with that. Yeah. I said, what you talking about doing, Sister Lisa? I could do a little rap on that. And so we put it on again and let her do a rap. Matter of fact, when we did the concert, she kind of surprised me, because I didn't realize she was going to come out like she did. And I was standing out there with my mouth wide open. I said, wow, is that really you? You just come out all just battling out there. I said, girl, that's what I'm talking about. And she's in the room too.
Oh, okay. And Mr. Joseph Taylor, Senior's in the room. Can you tell us about your studio and put some information out there, how people can contact you if they want to do some work in music or something?
Yes, it's a great honor to actually be here. I am actually the owner of Living Soul Productions. The address is 805 Hickory, Omaha, Nebraska, 68108. The phone number there is actually 402-590-5445. Hours of operations from 9 a.m. to whenever. But I just had a passion for music. I have been a musician in the church for the last 35 years. I've been playing music since I was 5 years old in the church, and now I'm 40. And God blessed me to be able to purchase a studio, a professional recording studio this year, back in January 21st, actually. And it was a replica of Michael Jackson's Thriller studio in California that was built by Westlake Audio. I still have the blueprints and everything to the building when it was first constructed. So, and I named it Living Soul Productions because I always breathe life into people's visions. They'll give me an idea or say, or challenge me with something. And can you remake this? Can you redo that? And you know what? I'll sit down and just go for it. And whatever comes out, it's like making gumbo, you know? You put all this in there. And then I had some weird ideas one day. People get ready. That was not an actual choo-choo train. I actually made that train. So a lot of those songs that's on that CD was actually just creativity of me, Bishop, and Fred sitting down, messing around. And it was one thing when I first met them. I've been knowing them for years. To be honest with you, I was really scared of them. Because Bishop Smith has this look, and he'll just walk in a place, happy as go lucky, but he had a serious looking face. So I never wanted to play for him at all, ever. And when I got to knowing these people, these are the best people I ever met. They have a loving spirit and everything else. And I never seen more genuine people than these people. So when she came to me about it, I didn't ask about a budget. I didn't ask about any of that. She asked me what she wanted to do. She said she always wanted to get her husband's life dream back to making a CD and everything else. So we sat down and talked. And from that moment 2 years ago, I have actually been 100% genuine, true to the word. And we have had a lot of fun. So there's a song, his favorite song on his CD is Right Here Where You Belong. And we laughed so hard about it because he was just singing it over and over, and there's a verse in there, and he gets tickled with it every time. And during the show, I just started laughing because everything is genuine, but we like to have fun. So when you listen to that CD, we were really breathing life into it. Sometimes people don't know when you get into the studio some of the things that go wrong and that goes with it. So you put those spirits in there. At Living Soul, we're really designed to breathe life into that vision. What is your vision? Let's amplify it. Let's let the people know. Let's let the world know. Also at the recording studio at the production company. So we do School of Music. We do conference. We do meeting rooms. We try to make it affordable for anyone and everyone. We actually do autism music courses. We teach a 12-week course to teach musicians to play in their churches, to put the CDs and tapes out, take that out and put real musicians back behind the instruments. We do live sessions, which we call live shows, because people that cannot afford to record and don't have enough money, bring some friends. We'll come in and record you. We'll split the money at the door. You have a CD, and that's what we've been doing. And, you know, it's really helping our community in our area. So now I'm staying a little busy there. And I've been at Walgreens drugstore for 24 years. So I am a working machine.
Oh.
So I leave one place, I go to another one.
Hey, and that's really good that you're back in the community. So all of y'all are members of the same church?
No, we're actually members of all different churches.
Oh, okay.
We just work. It is funny because, you know, typical churches will all fellowship together, so we all just kept meeting at the same places. So, and I would be playing the piano. If they didn't have a piano player or organ or drummer, I would go up and play for them. Same thing with Fred. If they didn't have a guitar player already, we would go and just join in. A few years back, we did a thing. We was trying to get 100 voicemail chorus for one of the churches, and we all showed up, and we made it all work. So we've been working together for a few years. So it wasn't by accident.
Well, Bishop, you had to excuse again. Let me ask you this question right here, because, you know, everybody, when we begin to show the good sides of everything, and the world is so slacking and missing right now in the Word of God, and your wife, the Reverend's there, maybe she can chime in also. I'm going to ask you a question for our audience. Where do you see the church right now in the world today, and what could it do better to push the Word of God out there?
You know, this is what we always try to say. You know, a lot of times the bigger churches, I'm not condemning them, they don't usually want to fellowship with the smaller churches. But, you know, this is what I tell them. I said, we like the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and Special Force. When the commanding chief say attention, everybody say at attention, right? So if we all work together like we're supposed to, because we're stationed in different spots. That's the same way with the church. We trying to help where we can help. Like I said, we have the kids that's gang and homeless, whatever it may be. We all got to play a part to help out, to make it unified.
And really, the key to the whole thing, God's requirement is for all of us to love one another.
Amen.
Regardless of what their background is and where they come from. And I feel that if they show a little bit more love within these churches throughout the community and with these younger people, maybe they can do more with the gang situation.
Mm-hmm.
If they show the love and try to understand where they are coming from, and if they can help them, encourage them that there is a better life through Christ Jesus. All they have to do is turn their life over and let God work within their lives.
So also let me ask you this, because Jesus did his work out on the street, and
that's right.
Everybody, looking at our current situation where right has been turned upside down. They don't know the difference between right and wrong. To the community, Bishop, can you just give them a word of aspiration where there's something they can lock onto and maybe change their life around and make it a little bit better, or something to believe in?
This is what we try to say. You got to show the love towards one another, because that's when Jesus came on the scene. He came, to save them that was lost. And what if we all implement this in place, we'd be a better world than we are. I look at how things go on, even with our president. He's supposed to represent all of us. And I don't care what nationality they are, whatever it is, if it's a Democrat or Republican. They still our president, in spite of what they may be doing or how they may be handling the world. This ain't nothing new to us. This kind of stuff been going on for generation and generation.
Well, if I could chime in real quick. If you listen to his CD, it says right here is where you belong. It's talking about heavy load. We actually have a CD that's for the world to be able to bring back the standards to the church. It is designed. That's why we have a prayer on there. How about the inspiration of God has smiled on me? People, get ready. That time is coming up. A change is going to come. So when you look at all these things, heal me, Jesus, heal me. We're talking about people that's been hurt. And a lot of times, people that's been hurt, they'll say, I'm not coming back to church because there's no difference. So we have to put that standard back in the church. I've been a minister of music in the church now for over 20 years. And I have learned one thing. The pastor has a lot of control of what he says, but also the music has more control as well. Just like Jesus was the word, but the devil was the minister of music. And you can't have two heads. So you have to know how to understand and work together inside the church. When people can see a church working together, building and doing something, they'll want to be a part. You have to separate yourself, so you have to make yourself different. At Living Soul Productions, that's one of the things I tell everybody. You want to be different. Let's make it as a positive inspiration for everybody. Here's Bishop's.
And Bishop, I like for you to, we're going to change up a little bit before we go into our next segment. I'd like for you to give our audience a little prayer before we let you go off the air.
Amen. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. Heavenly Father, as we come to you now, Lord, we ask you to look at us now, Lord, that we be on one accord, my Heavenly Father. Father God, we come knowing that you are able to deliver us from whatever situation that we are faced with, Lord. Father God, we ask you to strengthen us where we need to be strengthened, Lord. Father God, we know that you're able to take care of the needs of us now in the name of Jesus, Father God. Father God, we petition this prayer to you now in the mighty name of Jesus. And we're going to say these words to you now, Lord. And these blessings we ask in thy son Jesus' name, we pray. Amen, amen, amen.
Hey, Bishop Smith, we'd like to thank you for being with us tonight. Hey, we're going to really reach back out to your church, and maybe we can come out there with Reverend Bill Miller and do a live show or something with you. And we appreciate everybody in the room. We want to thank everybody for joining us. And your wife, we would like to thank her, John, Joseph, and everybody else sitting in the room. And everybody, that was Bishop Roy Smith. He has the CD right here. We're going to put it up on the STMK Radio 100 Facebook page. Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 Facebook page, Twitter, and all over our other social media pages. Check out Bishop Smith. Get that CD. It's really, really great. Now, I want everybody to hold on for a minute because we're going live in the Blue Room and listen to Bishop Smith, top songs he's going to sing for us. And then we'll be right back.
Stop the madness. Keep it 100 on STMK Radio 100. 100. 100. 100.
Dropping that heat. Dropping that heat on the turntables.
Yeah, I wanna say it's where, ooh, Jesus, is where I need you, Lord. Ooh, Jesus, is where, listen, when I go to
Donahue. President Trump says there was never a U.S. agreement to protect Kurds in northern Syria.
Nobody ever committed, gee, if you do this, we're going to do that, we're going to stay with you forever. Nobody ever said that.
At a cabinet meeting at the White House today, the president says Kurds could get some help.
We'll work something out with the Kurds so that they have some money, they have some cash flow. Maybe we'll get one of our big oil companies to go in and do it properly. But they'll have some cash flow, which they basically don't have right now.
Meantime, Kurds in one northern Syrian town greeted leaving U.S. troops by pelting them with fruits and potatoes. This man yelled, just like rats, America, run away, America, long live the resistance. President Trump says the nation missed out on a big opportunity, having the 2020 G7 summit at his Doral resort in Florida. The AP Sagar Magani is at the White House.
It was to be at Trump Doral outside Miami.
It would have been the greatest G7 ever.
The president says he would have done it for free, but he ditched the idea amid bipartisan criticism that he'd benefit from having world leaders gather at his own resort.
You people with this phony emoluments clause.
It's actually in the Constitution, banning presidents from getting gifts from foreign countries. The president says he'll now pick another site.
I don't think it'll be as exciting. I don't think it'll be as good. It'll cost the country a fortune.
Sagar Magani at the White House.
A wildfire is racing up canyon walls in Pacific Palisades, California, toward multi-million-dollar Ocean View homes. Some homes have been evacuated. Some people have decided to stay and try to fight the fire. Crews saved at least a half dozen homes in Southern California. A second child has died after she and two other small children were reportedly left alone in a St. Louis apartment that caught fire. Mayor Lori Lightfoot wants the Chicago Teachers Union to call off its strike before there's an agreement on a new contract. The union says no. The Dow gained 57 points. This is AP Radio News. A new study points to a virus as the culprit of a paralyzing illness affecting children.
The CDC has confirmed 590 cases of acute flaccid myelitis since 2014. The paralyzing syndrome spiked every other year, coinciding with seasons when certain strains of enteroviruses were causing widespread illness. The problem was the doctors seldom found the viruses in the patient's spinal fluid. So researchers tried a new trick. They checked patients' spinal fluid for signs that the immune system had fought an invading virus, and sure enough, nearly 3/4 of patients harbored antibodies for enteroviruses, compared with less than 10% of other children. Dr. Michael Wilson with UC San Francisco, who helped lead the research, says it's a powerful piece of circumstantial evidence. Further work is underway to narrow down the specific strains. I'm Jennifer King.
It averts a trial. The nation's three biggest drug distributors and a major drug maker agreed to an 11th-hour, $260 million settlement in Cleveland over the terrible toll taken by opioids in 2 counties in Ohio. I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
100.
If people say your dreams are crazy, if they laugh at what you think you can do, good. Stay that way. Because what non-believers fail to understand is that calling a dream crazy is not an insult. It's a compliment. Don't try to be the fastest runner in your school or the fastest in the world. Be the fastest ever. Don't picture yourself wearing OBJ's jersey. Picture OBJ wearing yours. Don't settle for homecoming queen or linebacker. Do both. Lose 120 pounds and become an Ironman after beating a brain tumor. Don't believe you have to be like anybody to be somebody. If you're born a refugee, don't let it stop you from playing soccer for the national team at age 16. Don't become the best basketball player on the planet. Be bigger than basketball. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. When they talk about the greatest team in the history of the sport, make sure it's your team. If you have only one hand, don't just watch football, play it at the highest level. And if you're a girl from Compton, don't just become a tennis player. Become the greatest athlete ever. Yeah, that's more like it. So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
Dropping that heat. Dropping that heat on the turntables.
All you folks like you own my life. You never made any sacrifice. Demons there on my trail, standing at the crossroads of hell. I look to the left, I look to the right. Hands that grab me on every side. Looks like I got my prize, which I'll sell, all that is mine. Think money rules when all else fails. Go sell your soul, keep your shell. I'm trying to protect what I keep inside. All the reasons why I live my life. The devil, he walking mad. He a fool, he a liar, conjuring a thief. Try to tell you what you want, try to tell you what you need. Standing at the point, road across you down. What is at your back? Which way do you turn? Who will come find you first? Devils are your gods. Folks like you run my life, I should be willing to compromise. Say all you demons go back to hell. Save my soul, save myself. Save myself. Save my soul, save myself. Save my soul, save myself. Save my soul, save myself.
Goddamn what the story is.
Richard M. Nixon has lied repeatedly.
No reporter from the Washington Post should ever be in the White House again. You understand? I'm going to kick their ass. If people looking at me say that's a new Nixon, then all that I can say is, well, maybe you didn't know the old Nixon.
You've been tuned in to Stop the Madness, keeping it 100 on STMK Radio 100. And now back to your host one more time, Shawn L, Let, and Tone the Stone.
we gotta vote. Stop the violence and vote.
Hey, 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 welcome back. Studio 51, Cleveland, Ohio. Tone the Stone with us in Studio 51. And J Mac, Tone the Stone, what's happening, man?
What's up, Shawn L? What's up, J Mac? What's up, everybody out there that's listening? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. Glad to have y'all. Sax Man hit me up on the messenger. He told me to tell all the fans. He said, hey. And that was a hell of a song by Tracy Chapman, man. I like that. I really
Yes,
did.
it is.
Did you like that? I liked that too.
That was nice.
That was deep.
J Mac, what's up with you? What's going on?
We here in Cleveland, Studio 51, trying to chop with y'all.
Hey, I want to. Hey, you know what, everybody? I really want to thank Bishop Roy Smith out of Omaha, Nebraska. Y'all need to check out that CD. Go get it. It's really nice. You heard some cuts off of it earlier when we came in the show, and he was live in the Blue Room. And Tuesday, he was on Podcast Nation live with us out of the Lorraine studio, and it was really, really good and got a lot of good feedback. And you know, he said some good things there, especially about the community. Did you hear that, Jake?
Yeah, that was real nice. I think that was one of his, I don't know if it was him or one of his partners was talking about how the community will really get involved when they see a church working together and doing things.
Yes, and we talk about that all the time, Jay. And you remember we talked about that about 2 weeks ago when I said that the church was absent in the community, and you know we talked about the money that was taken out of the black community. If the church would just stand up and all the big churches get together with the little churches and everybody come out, we can make that change and make our communities very valuable again like it was in the 60s and 50s, and bring the Gold Coast right down back into the communities of 105th. I'm just talking about Cleveland people, and if Cleveland can do it, Atlanta, Chicago, all the other cities can do it, because we never had this crime like we having. Kids were allowed to go home and play in the parks and stuff. You didn't have to worry about that. You look at what happened in Alabama, the little girls at a birthday party, she gets kidnapped and then killed. You look at here in Cleveland, we had little kids in the house. The house gets shot up because they're looking for the uncle, and the kids gets killed. And it's on and on and on. You look at this right here. Last night, the state troopers tried to pull a guy over for speeding. High-speed chase down I-90 in the middle of traffic, heavy traffic. The guy spins his car around and go back the other way and kills the lady after hitting her head on. This is just crazy. It's got to stop, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of madness going on in the world. I don't know, like what that you know, that guy was obviously running from the police, and you know, it's messed up that it ended that way, and that it's unfortunate for that lady and her family.
Well, Tom, I don't know what he's thinking about. When you on a 4-lane highway and you passing the cars that's coming at you, it ain't like he didn't know they was there. And you turn around to thinking that the police are not going to come after you. Okay, I don't even know why the trooper turned around. Well, for safety reasons, I'm going to say this because the Ohio State Patrol did put it out there. I don't know why they turned around. They couldn't go through the medium to get on the other side of it. And yes, with him coming back with the lights and stuff, people would pull over. But they was in the middle of a curve. There's no pulling over right there, and there's nowhere to go. And everybody keeps saying that they think the guy tried to commit suicide. The more I watch that video, I do not think that he was trying to commit suicide. I think what it was, he was trapped on that wall, and he knew there was nowhere to go on that wall with all that traffic was coming on him. And I think that he was trying to cross the freeway to get over to the emergency lane where he can go down past the traffic where it wouldn't nobody be, okay? And crazy enough, I'm going to say this, there's no damn way in hell's name that state trooper should have been behind him, okay? Because if he didn't hit somebody and he got through clearly, okay, the state trooper wasn't going to have that option because he was right there trapped on the wall also, okay? Thank God wasn't no big 18-wheelers coming around it, because he would have got wiped out or killed somebody.
Well, where was he running from? Does anybody know? I know it just happened
Well,
last night. I mean, did he have what warrants did he have?
Well,
pending?
we don't
Did
know.
they find
We don't know
anything?
what they haven't did the thing on that yet. We do know that he was coming down I-90 speeding about 90 miles an hour. The troopers and the sheriff department was out there running a blitz. Okay, so they initially went to pull him over for speeding. But I think he tried to turn around or wanted to turn around. If you look at the video 2 times, because the trooper passed him 2 times, okay? But he couldn't turn around because the traffic was too high on him. That's very tragic. A mother of 3 lost her life for no reason. He isn't here with us, okay? And the state highway patrol is going to catch a lot of heat, okay? And I just don't know what to say anymore. It's just like everything is just turning upside down.
It's a lot of madness, and what I wanted to say was like a lot of it boils down to just plain stupidity. Like you talked about the kids getting shot in the house because some guys looking for their uncle. Like I understand you in the streets and you playing the game and you doing what you do, but you got to understand that there's certain ways to go about things. Like you can't just shooting into a random house like that, where kids and all type of innocent innocent family members may be in. Like that's just not how you do it. That's just plain stupidity.
Well, there's no code of honor no more. Okay, when I grew up, and I hate to keep saying this because I ain't that old. But see, when I grew up, if me and Jay had a beef, me and Jay boys might have a beef because I know I'm gonna do Jay, and his boys know if I do Jay, I might have to deal with him because you and Jay cool. So when I come up to do Jay, I might have to do you too, or y'all gonna work me.
That makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Jay's little brother or Jay's mother or sister has nothing to do with me and Jay's beef. So that's off the table. You look at the guy in Chicago the gang member killed the guy's son last month.
Oh, in the alleyway they took him.
Right. Yeah, they took him in the alleyway and shot him in the head.
Yeah.
There's no honor no more. The game is like is anything goes.
Now, I mean, I don't want to justify it or make excuses, but that was different. Like that was purposely done. That was executed because they had shot the guy's mother or something like that.
Okay, but
that was they plan to do that. I'm saying when you shoot blindly into a house,
but this guy with the house shooting. But see, what we have to look at is this guy was in a shooting at the dog pound. Okay, after the rap video where somebody got killed. He was in a shooting a week before his niece got killed on Alhambra and St. Clair, where his buddy got killed. Okay, so.
Well, so who? I mean, okay.
He knows who did it. I mean, first of all, if you trying to kill me, and you kill my niece, I'm telling on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason these people still running out here because he's not telling. Okay. And he still hasn't told.
I mean, you know what? Maybe he got plans to do it himself, but like everybody, the police gonna be watching them because they know if you're not telling, they're gonna be expecting you to be trying to do
He
that.
0-3. He needs some help right now. He 0-3.
They sound like a bunch of like amateurs. Period. Like back and forth. Like they are amateurs, and that's why the real victims in this is the little girls, the little kids.
Right, and the people live in the house, the mother and the little thing, and
that's the problem. Like the amateurs and the stupidity of people, and it goes. We talk about the madness that exists in this world. It goes way beyond the street, the gangbangers, and the
right. It goes.
It goes across all walks of life. Stupid people is what causes all these problems that we have to deal with.
Starting with Trump, but go ahead.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. But if then you look at the young lady, who was dumped on 90, but now we come to find out that everything that was being said that was done may not have been done. Me personally, when it happened, everybody was saying that she got thrown out of the car. She got shot in the head, and he pulled her out of the car. Now we finding out that he was on 90 driving, and he went across 4 lanes, and she fell out of the car, and the car ran her over. Okay. And
wow,
how does that happen?
I heard that could happen, but I heard it totally different from this barbershop. Like you just say, my phone's been broke, so I haven't even been on Facebook.
Right. So when you look at that, Jay, what I'm saying is I don't know. We don't know. Okay. We had a visual for all the activists and everybody was there. Her uncle was there, who was a big time activist and everybody. Nobody knew that he had already called 911 and talked to the police when this incident happened. Nobody knew that he was cooperating with the police, and the police knew where he was at. Okay, so as the activists and everybody was talking about going to find him in street justice, he had already talked to the police and stuff.
Yeah, but see, he
Wow,
left
see,
the
I
scene.
never knew that.
He left the scene
I'm
of the
here.
crime. Like even if she fell out the car by accident somehow, why did he leave and leave her in
Well,
the
that's
middle
a
of the
question.
freeway?
Well, that's a question. But there again, I have to say this: he just got out of jail or something. He's a felon. Plus he jumped. She said that he jumped on her. Told her father that he jumped on her a couple of days prior. So I'm gonna say this: as being a law enforcement officer, I have seen females while you driving, okay? Because I've encountered it, domestics on the freeways where they get mad, and
Do some
they
crazy stuff.
and
Yeah,
they jump out of the car, or
I've
like
experienced it personally.
right,
So yeah, I understand.
right.
But jumping out of a moving car on the freeway, I don't know about that though.
Well, I've seen that happen. So
Well, how can he throw her
so-
out if he's driving on,
right,
especially
and
the highway?
and he got and he's in a big SUV. But I've seen this happen, and I also the fireman's wife in Akron, if you remember, she jumped out of the car on the freeway, then she ran across the freeway and she got hit when she got on over the wall. Okay, so weird things happen. I don't know, but I do know that uh, it's more to the story because he was in contact with 911 and the police. Okay, and he allegedly law enforcement haven't confirmed this yet, but I think he turned himself in when they asked him to. And the only thing he's being charged with is obstruction of official business and tampering with evidence.
Okay, I heard that. Yeah.
He's not being charged with murder. He was arraigned today. He's on a $250,000 bond, which is 10%, and the lawyer has put out the narrative that we're talking about right now, that they had a fight. She got upset. He was in a big SUV, and she jumped out of the vehicle, and that's how when she flopped, she got ran over by the vehicle. Okay, and I don't know what the witnesses are saying because I don't understand how she came out of the vehicle, unless she came out of the vehicle on the berm. Okay, but my thing, the witness was saying that he got out of the truck and he pulled her out of the truck initially. Okay, so that's what I was thinking. So we don't know, but that case is going to be coming forward. And we're going to look at that very, very hard right
It's
there.
been real. A lot of talk about that in the barber shop.
I know, you know, Jay.
And nobody really knows exactly what happened. Like I'm hearing stuff I never heard before.
Well, tell us what you're hearing in the shop. I want to hear the gossip. Come on, tell us the gossip in the
same
shop.
thing you just said. The same thing. She got shot. He had been beating on her. He threw her out. While he had shot her in the head. There's a lot of different stuff. But I did hear that they only charged him with. Well, they not only charged him, but charged him with tampering with evidence. Corruption.
Wait, so was she shot?
Well, we don't know because the coroner hasn't released the autopsy report.
Oh, okay.
See, the problem here is, and I want to say this, everybody, social media have us on. It happened on the news page also. We get information now. We're in a 24-hour news cycle. Okay, so people who look at CNN because of cable, that's all they do is news. CNN, NBS, NBC, Fox, and all that. The AP wires firing. The news media's grabbing stuff off social media. There's no old-fashioned reporting no more. Okay, we do stories on social media like we did with Hoops for Justice, and all the news media seen our story, and immediately they grabbed it and they start airing it. Okay, and you have to understand, social media with her uncle and all the rest of them grabbed this, took their story, and then their friends get on there, and then people would heated, upset because of what happened, and now you got a big narrative out there on social media world, and we don't know. Okay, now that the police is involved, we're thinking that he just shot her in the head, pulled over on the barn, pulled her out, took off in the middle of 100,000 people because it's during rush hour.
Right.
Now we find out because he turned himself into the police department and he got a lawyer. So he probably wouldn't got a lawyer before he turned himself into the police. But now we finding out that he called 911 and asked for the ambulance and told the police what happened. Okay, that he was in contact with the police officers and that he turned himself into them. So that changed the whole
scenario.
the whole scenario.
So there was no witness reports, like since it was rush hour.
Well, we don't know, Tone, because the Cleveland Police Department, by it being in a beginning of an investigation, they can't give out no statements. So when the news media come or the AP come or we go and we talking to them, they would give us the synopsis that the guy was driving westbound on I-90. He came across 4 lanes and she came out of the car and the car ran her over. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, but they know. But so since they know, obviously they know. Like they would know whether there were other like witnesses calling in 911, seeing him throwing out the car or something. So since like none of this, so since he's being charged with such light things, like you said, obstruction of official business, maybe there is some truth to what.
Well, you know what?
That's not part of the story.
I hope so. I don't know. It's tragic, okay, because the coroner is going to tell us.
Ain't nothing gonna make me jump out of a moving vehicle. I don't care how mad.
But
we gonna argue until we get somewhere.
See the difference between a man and a woman. I'm gonna say this, especially for domestic violence, and I don't want nobody to take this wrong. When a woman gets upset, she goes to a whole new location. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, as a law enforcement officer, I've seen it happen. I've seen tragedy. It's sad, domestic violence. Nobody should be putting their hands on nobody. And it's also violent when you're driving in the car. I done seen women jump on guys in cars while they're driving. And I seen mans do it. That's what Judge Mason got arrested for. He jumped on his wife in the car and then pulled her out of the car. And we've seen this over and over. It's just
I had
the
a crazy
madness.
girl snatch the keys out of the ignition while I'm driving.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's crazy. The girl. Well, it happens, and when you get into an argument, okay, as my mom always told me, I don't care what happens, you're never supposed to put your hands on a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get into that argument, and
I'm glad you went there.
And
I was.
and they attacking, but it's hard because a woman knows no bounds. Okay, so when she starts smacking on you and grabbing you, and you trying to stop her, and she's more aggressive, and you can lose it too, especially if you've been drinking. Okay, if you have anger problems. Okay, if there's a thing Sam Silk did yesterday, and we talked about this in the Lorraine studio on Podcast Nation. Sam Silk had a case where somebody sent in and they was talking about they was getting ready to get married. Okay, and the lady sent a letter that she was a dancer, and her fiance wanted to know, had she been with anybody in the club and had she did anything, and she ended up telling them about this one guy that she did a little something with, and he wanted the guy's name, and when she wouldn't give it to him, he got mad and he left. Okay, in a relationship, as I was telling everybody, in a relationship, when you meet a person, that's the time to put all your cards on the table and ask all those questions. Okay, not get into a relationship talking about getting married, building stuff, and going on, because I know that I had friends when I was growing up that was in my Maja tribes and all that, or had their girlfriends there or their wives there, and a man cannot take another man being with his woman. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, you got to get all of that stuff out in the open in the beginning. Like,
right.
You need to know. You don't want to be years down the line and then finding something like this out.
And a man, but see, this is the problem, Tone, and I'm gonna say this as a man. This is the problem with men. You cannot take knowing another man made love to your woman better than you can, and she was really knocked over heels, or you didn't took her into this triangle area like the guys do, because you want this chick everybody been talking about having a piece of it. You want to have it, and you bring your wife there, and you in that life. Now you looking at somebody else laying some wood on your wife and making her feel better, and she have more fun than you are. I done seen guys kill guys over that shit.
Some people can do it, some people can't, man.
Most mans cannot. 99% of the mans cannot.
You gotta know yourself though, before you go try something that you ain't built for.
That's like a guy come home. You know how many homicides have taken place with guys coming home, catching their wives, and that. That's why the law says an act of passion. Okay, that's why they had to make the law like that. Okay, guys can't take that. Okay,
Yeah.
they go crazy. And when you look at this in a relationship, you have to have it in your mind. Okay, that whatever happened before y'all got together and married
Exactly.
happened, and you move on. Okay, and you got to have it in your mind, if something happens, am I going to destroy everything and lose everything and just move on? Okay,
Yeah.
you can't put your hands on. I know a lot of people out there been in fights. I know a lot of people looking at me saying, "Sean, you that damn crazy." Okay, a lot of guys and the young guys are really into this. They gotta beat the girl down like what? The young kid who shot his sister 10 times over in the projects.
Okay, I knew. I said I heard that wrong. I knew it was 10 times.
Yeah,
They told me it wasn't no 10. Yeah, I'm getting. It's
that's
a whole
that's
bunch of young
crazy.
gut brothers
That's your
out
sister.
Westwood.
You know how many
Yeah.
times me and my
What did he shoot
sisters,
her for?
cause they said had words.
No, obviously, apparently she was shooting. He was shooting or beat up her boyfriend. He's like, oh, she was like, you going to jail. I mean, I can't even repeat that. So everything else I heard in the barbershop has been completely wrong.
But you look at this. That's your sister. You know how many times my sister painted me white? Do you
It took
understand?
me a minute to understand what you said. Like literally painted you
Literally
white.
painted me white. Do you understand how many times you and Paulette had a fight? Or you and Patrick had it out over the TV or come on. That
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Like I know, like so I know like guys growing up. I knew brothers. Like that was normal. That was normal business in the neighborhood for brothers to pull guns on each other, fight each other. You know, over money, over
But
shit.
but
Your
shooting-
sister, I would feel like that's something different. Like like men, that men we clash like that. So I could see how brothers can get into it like that. But I could never see like my sister doing anything.
I can see fighting my brother but not shooting or cutting him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, me personally, I don't see how I would ever get to that point either. But I just know guys who did it. But even my sister called the police on me and sent me to jail. I could never see shooting my
Yeah,
sister.
I mean, it is so crazy, and everybody, as I told the pastor, everybody's rights and wrongs are so turned upside down, and we're not calling nothing out. We're not holding nobody responsible. We're not even looking for our kids. We letting them carjack, and I don't know what this is now. Still in the cars again.
Well, let's go back a couple steps you said before. Now, I was younger and in school, like elementary, and I was getting into it with a female. And, we were getting into it. It was like, it caused some trouble. But I remember my mother telling me, you don't let nobody hit on you.
Well,
Not
a girl.
No. She said you defend yourself against everyone that's out to harm you. And she said, now when I was older, she did say, now you avoid fighting a girl. You avoid fighting anybody.
Right.
But you don't. She does. See, one thing. This is my mother. She doesn't believe in the woman feel she can hit a man and not get hit back.
Well, I understand that too, but see,
don't hit anyone. I explained to my daughters, I don't hit women. You know what I'm saying? I used to hit my daughters when they were younger, but I don't hit women. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get away from women.
No, you disciplined your daughters. You
I mean,
didn't
yeah,
hit 'em.
you're right. That does sound better. But you're right. You know what I'm saying? If they got grown, you know what I'm saying, and nobody's on that. But it's a reason to hit everyone if you really think about it. It's a reason everyone should be hit.
Well,
and I like to stay away from those situations.
But see,
one thing, I want to repeat this again. My mother told me a woman should not. I taught my daughters this. Don't ever call me if you done hit some man and he want to jump on you.
Well, see,
don't put me in that situation.
But
Don't
see-
have me going to jail. So I'm not gonna think about right or wrong if you hit my daughter.
Right. But Jake, see, this is where I'm at, and this is the way I was raised, and I was raised by all women, and even with my father, is that no matter how much a woman makes you mad, she can never take you to the level of really hurting you because you're going to overpower her and you stronger than her. So I understand what your mom meant was basically protect yourself and don't let nobody
Exactly,
hit on you.
yeah.
But she wasn't talking about you actually beating a woman or fighting a woman. I mean,
And she explained that very
right,
clearly.
right,
And she let me know I was stronger than the woman and everything.
right, and I understand that, and it takes a bigger man to walk away. Even today now, as I tell the guys, you can't even argue today about the Cleveland Browns, okay? Because somebody get mad. You look at the guy, the story that's flashing around in the chat room and everything that they just brought up. The guy gambling at the Crab House beat a guy for $1,500. They know each other. Then he asks him to give him a ride. He gives a ride, and when they get in the car and get where they're going, the guy robs him and shoot him and take his money back.
Wow.
Now, this is the craziest part about this, and I'm going to say this. I know you. You're going to rob me, shoot me, and take your money back. What you think I'm going to do?
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. Some of the stuff that's happening is crazy, but it's more crazy because in the chat room they're talking about right now, Tony, and I'm going to say this and everybody else know they're talking about this. Tank had the nerve to say, giving a man oral sex does not mean you gay.
For a man to give another man oral sex doesn't make either one of them gay.
Right. Now that's some bat crazy shit right there. And all over social media, everybody talking about it. Ain't no damn way in hell's name anybody should even repeat what Tank said, especially
right, you're right.
Especially with
right.
Tom Joyner, okay? That shouldn't be news nowhere. Now here go Tank talking his crazy shit, and in Atlanta, people talking about it right now with the 2,000 download brothers and pro football players and AIDS running everywhere. I am scared for this generation.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, that sounds like nonsense to me. I don't know. Like, first of all, Tank ain't no authority on. He sound like he's trying to make up the rules as he go. I'm imagining he's talking about himself or a situation he been in.
But what man
No,
would
but-
say some shit like that?
Yeah, but you
Don't he got a new album coming out?
Probably so. But
I think so,
probably
yeah. I think so. That's-
But wait a minute. But what man would say some Jake? I can understand he got a new album coming out.
I have no.
What
no,
man
no,
would say some shit like that?
A gay man.
A gay man, right? A gay man who don't want to be called gay though, because I mean, like he don't make up the rules on. He don't make up what's
That's
gay,
you
what's
say,
gay,
say
what's not.
he doesn't
So
want to
if
be
you-
called gay. He doesn't
so-
want to be called.
But last time I checked, if you have any type of sexual relationship, sexual interaction with
You're
a person
fag.
of the same sex,
I'm gonna say.
that's
you gay.
that's
I'm gonna
no.
say. But
No.
I should say. I should wait. But they're gonna be all over me for that.
Yeah, that's what they don't want to hear.
Right, right.
Even gay men that consider themselves gay hate to be called a fag.
Right. I'm gonna correct myself.
like, yeah.
I'm sorry to the people in the LGBT community, but if you have any sexual contact with a man and you're a man, you are bisexual. Is
Or
the
you're gay.
is the proper thing, or
You're
you're gay? Politically correct, or you're gay. There's no way around it. Okay. Now, women, people can accept women being lesbians and bisexual. I'm just telling you right now, for my perspective, for a man to say something like that, that is shit. That is batshit crazy. Okay, he need to be checked. At this point in time, I got to look at him. I don't even want to buy none of his music. I don't even want to be because he gone crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever really listened to any of his music anyway. But I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know. Like,
yeah.
where do you even come off saying something like that? So like, if that's not gay, then what is? For real.
And when you look at that, everybody talking about it in the chat room, everybody's like telling us and asking the question, is he gay? Yes, he's gay. Okay, there's no doubt about it. He's gay. There's nothing a man can do femininely or sexually to another man and not be considered gay. Okay, just like when our East Cleveland mayor Eric Jonathan Brewer was dressing up. Remember, we had him on the show, and he told Sax Man he was going to one of those shows or some female impersonator show. Okay, I can understand if you're a female impersonator. Just say I'm a female impersonator. Okay, because you had a
He
lot of
lost the election because of that.
right because you know why he lost the election because of that because he wouldn't own up to who he was. Okay,
Right.
And when he lost the election in East Cleveland, well, that's probably the first one you're talking about. Uh, when he lost
That's
it,
what I'm talking
right,
about.
the
Yeah.
first one. When he lost the election in East Cleveland, it wasn't that he wouldn't own up to who he was. It's that black man has a problem with gay men. Okay, and the black community has a problem with black gay men. Okay, so he didn't want to come into that area. Now, when he ran for mayor in Cleveland, they would have supported him and he probably could have had a good following, okay? But when he refused to acknowledge their community and what was going on, they left him also. And we talked about that on the show. We talked about the 10-page letter that Doug Milliam read when he went on Facebook with his rant. And you have to understand that is that politicians have problems. Now, the presidential candidate, Buttigieg, okay? He's doing good right now because we are in the Me Too era, okay?
Well, that's what I want to say. Yeah, go back a couple of things. You said the black community has a problem. And I'm going to start off with personally and what I've seen. It's not so much the black men have a problem in the community with gay black men. It's more or less a flaming gay. I mean, if you carry yourself like a man, no matter who you sleep with, that's your business. Keep it your business. We don't want to see it.
But if you don't, wait a minute. There you go. You answer that question yourself.
Yeah,
that's
kind of
redundant.
sad. I think if you don't want to see it, I mean,
Right.
you got a problem with it. I get what you're
No,
saying.
no,
like,
no.
Your business is your business, but
exactly. No, now as I'm ordered, I don't want to hear what you did with your woman.
Well,
I know. Sometimes,
but I can accept that, Jay.
Some people it's cool. Some people it is cool. You know what I'm saying? Some people you got that relationship with, but it's more or less. I'm gonna say personally. I'm gonna say personally, and couple people I know personally. It's not so much. If that's what you know, this. It's about being a man.
Well, Jay, this is the difference with men.
Act like a man.
Wait a minute, but this is the difference with men. And I'm gonna say this. I can sit in the shop.
Be manly.
Wait a minute. I can sit in the shop. Matter of fact, somebody just hit this in the chat room. They got the video out of the barber shop guy giving head to a guy while he's cutting his hair. And then they got the video out of Pastor Wilson. I know y'all seen that. Pastor Wilson was giving oil to the female that wasn't his wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't be wanting to watch. I don't be wanting to see videos like.
Well,
that,
I'm just
so
saying this.
No.
The
See, people ask me about it.
This is what's going on.
Talking about. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I can sit in the shop. I can talk about Pastor Wilson. I can sit in the shop and talk about the barber. I can sit in the shop and talk about my girl. I can sit in the shop and talk about Tank. Okay. There's a difference with having a conversation about this. Okay. But when you start talking about you living next to me or me and you in that confinement and stuff, I don't have a problem with a gay person. I would treat them the same and with respect and all that, okay? But that's not my cup of tea. And when you come into the black community, black males have a problem with with males that are not macho, okay? And that's just the way it is.
Well, I mean that you're right. But I think that has a lot to do with just your past and stuff you done been through, something you really dealing with personally. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it. My only problem I ever had around gay men is like you're acting more feminine than she is, and you're not doing it. You're doing it purposely. You're going out your way to do it. That was all. That was I don't.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's a part of letting them be them. You know, you said earlier.
They are them.
No.
It's
I
their
don't have a
business.
problem.
Whatever
That's
you do is
something-
your business.
I don't want to
let
be.
them be them. So I don't really have a problem with that. Like I mean, me personally, you know, we're not really speaking about individually. Like I don't think any of us in here are like homophobic or like hate gay people or anything like that. But you know, and it's not just the black men or the black community. It's like it's the men, period. A lot of men, period. Like they just don't understand gay men, and so it's hard for them to come to grasp with accepting them and being respectful of them. You know, in 2019, 2020, it's getting more they're gaining ground. They're making more.
Right, it's getting more wild
Yeah.
because Facebook Live right now in the chat room, and we on Facebook Live, YouTube. They're talking about the pastor and all them. They talking about the barber, and they talking about what's happening on Facebook and social media in there. And John Hawkins put something out about mans in Atlanta wearing the fanny packs. Okay, and we just put back to him. A lot of people are wearing fanny packs right now.
See, that's the stuff I don't care nothing about. I don't care about the feminine acting gay men. I don't care about how they dress.
No, I don't
would
care.
prefer that. What I hate is we talked about it earlier, is the down low brothers. That's what I don't like.
Right, the macho
Those
guy,
dudes
right.
who live a whole other life. They got a wife and kids at home, and then they doing that stuff
Right.
out and about, and and risking the health of their family, and and just being all type of scared. That's the ones who I really have a problem with. Like if you come out and and embrace who you are, I respect it, and I don't have a problem with how you carry on, or what's your personality type or whatever, any of that.
That's cool.
I just embrace who you
I
are
respect
and be
that.
real about it. That's what I. That's
I
what
respect
I want.
that. I respect that 100%.
And that's what you have to do. You have
But
to
I'm
respect each other.
I'm gonna keep it real, Tone. Me and you cool. If I found out, and I ain't trying to put you out there, if I found out you were gay, I wouldn't be mad. That's my dude. He never came at me wrong.
Well,
but I'm saying,
I
if you
get it,
acted,
yeah.
if you acted, I wouldn't like that, Tone. I couldn't kick it with you.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, that's not your type, but I'm saying I'm not saying
No,
I
I'm not
want to be.
saying-
I'm not saying I want to be around them either. I'm saying, but if I see them out in public, I don't have no judgment against
Well-
them. I don't have a judgment against feminine acting
Well,
men.
I could
That's
be,
who they are.
I could be around
And
a phenom,
I
I could be
respect them
around a
more.
phenom actor man.
I respect them more because they're being
Right.
themselves. They're
Well-
No,
coming out.
I'm talking about okay. That's that.
But CJ, wait a minute, Jay. I can be around a male that act like he's a female, but I can't be around a male wearing his pumps and all that. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you could be a man, and be gay or however you want to be. Okay, but when you start putting on your pumps and your skirts and all,
That's more. That's
that-
what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna have to
That's what I
go
mean
away
in
from
fe-
that.
That's what I mean so much as female acting.
Yeah, I mean,
but then like I just like okay, I didn't really want to go here. I told a dude one time when I was locked up. He was gay, and he asked me for something. I said, "Hold on." He asked me for something at the microwave, some food or something. I said, first of all, put some bass in your voice. You don't talk like that. Well, this is really serious. And like y'all laughing, I told everybody who laughed, stop laughing. That's why he acts like that. And he never came in like that again. That's what I mean.
Well, you have to, Jay, because you have to understand, Jay, too. Okay, when you in a situation like that, okay, and you let that happen, now everybody looking at you, and some people may challenge you. Your safety may be in jeopardy or something like that.
But you know, and you're
furthermore-
right about that. You're 100% right about that. But I'm gonna give you the situation. He talked to everyone, like people who really responded to him. That's how he carried himself. But I wasn't going for it.
So yeah,
I heard you talk before. You didn't talk like that. I saw you talk to somebody else. You didn't talk like that.
Oh, okay.
You talking to COs. That's what I mean by like don't. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause some
Okay.
people are just soft.
So
I'm not
wait a
gonna
minute.
like knock you for being
Let
soft.
me ask you this,
I'm gonna
because
say that's feminine. You
Twitter,
just soft.
Twitter just came back with this. So since we in free fall, let me ask you: Twitter want to know, Tony Stone, what you think about Tank? Has he lost his mind?
Weirdo, man. I don't. Yeah, he lost his mind because he, like I said before, he's not the authority on what constitutes gay and what doesn't. He can't make up the rules as he go. That's a
Darcy.
That's
What's
a
that?
definite part of the definition
You
of
know
being
who
gay.
you know who he remind me of? What's the female? Kim
Lil Kim.
Kardashian. Yeah,
Oh.
Kardashian and her sisters and all them.
Mhm.
And they just put your boy into it, Jay, because I know you basketball guru.
Tristan Thompson.
No. Damn, the guy just said his name. The guy that used to play for Detroit. That went over to Dennis Rodman. There you go. He put it back. He just kicked it back for me. He said Madonna turned Dennis Rodman out on drugs, and that's why he acts that way.
Probably.
But that first, I'm a big fan of Dennis Rodman. That's not true. And I even read Madonna's book. He did more. She said he did more stuff than she ever done. So it's not that. I heard another comedian say something about Dennis Rodman being gay, and he said he crossed his mind, but he never. No, he's not gay. He just said he's not gay.
I thought Dennis Rodman said he was bisexual, or
No, he I just watched his thing and he just said this is not even a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
He said
I'm
that,
sorry, Dennis.
No, he said that he more or less he checked himself like, could I be gay? Could I do that? Could I go there? He
Okay,
said
that's what he
no.
was talking about because
Yeah.
in the chat room.
He said he believed every man is asked that discussion. Like, wow. Could
Well,
I go there?
I'm gonna have to
And he
tell.
say no, or
I'm gonna
like
have to
maybe I
tell Dennis,
could.
not every man, because it has never crossed my mind to do anything with a male.
Now that's what Dennis was saying.
Right, I
He
said,
said, yeah,
right.
exactly.
He was saying that every man thought about it, but I'm saying I can say no, not every
No,
man.
he's not saying. He's saying, could he go there?
Could he go there?
Could he like? He's like, no. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because I couldn't go there. Now, anything else, yeah, but that's somewhere that I never even thought about or go, and I'll probably have to take 20 tabs of acid.
Well,
okay.
you know
But
what?
even still, like I think like drugs don't matter. Like drugs, alcohol don't matter. Like excuse me, it's something. What I think Dennis Rodman. I haven't read the book. I'm not saying it's like if you are high out of your mind, and for whatever reason you find yourself in a scenario with another man, like would you do it or could you do it? Like that's like if you're
That'd be
not
a
gay,
killing.
if you're not gay, then no
No,
matter what,
no.
you're not even gonna cross that.
That would be a killing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
If I was high, or if I was drunk, okay, and
No, I'm laughing.
I'm gonna give you a scenario right here, and I'm just gonna say this: if I was out at Magic City, okay, and everybody know who Magic City is, and so if you're a female, that's on you. I'm not gonna explain it to you. But if I was at Magic City, and I was gonna take one home, okay, I can be drunk, acid down, everything else. If I found out that was a man or come down there, I would have to go to jail.
Now this is recent. Okay, what
Okay.
you just said about this. So this is recently, on Facebook. A woman was asking, like she said, she had just found out that Richard Pryor had sex.
Well, you know what they said. Somebody claimed, the guy that died claimed that Richard Pryor was
Paul Mooney.
Yeah, but who he say that was?
said-
Richard Pryor was having sex with a white guy.
Oh, the white.
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando, right. And
But before that, I mean, even his wife admitted he has. I think he got caught up and had sex with a transgender. But after he found out there was a transgender, he went back again.
But see, you know what? How can you get caught up? That I see that.
No, being high. I mean.
No,
even-
there's not that much caught up in the world, Jake. I'm sorry. That will be a culture shock.
Yeah, I think drugs just, like induces the euphoria in it. Like, but you still have to be deep down. You have to have that
To let it go,
whatever,
right.
Whatever that mutation or whatever that internal working is, you still have to have that. You can't just be high and be like, oh, I want to do something gay. I don't think it works. I personally don't believe it goes like that.
So in the chat room, I want to say this in the chat room out of Atlanta and San Diego, Tank is batshit out of his mind. I want y'all to say that from now on. That's the new thing, because Tank has lost his mind. Sam Sky and all the rest of them, D.L. Hewley and all the rest of them can debate on it. I'm telling you right now, he's out of his
What
damn
are they
mind.
debating though? Whether or not he's right? It doesn't even sound like it's
You know what? I can't even,
debate to
I can't even tell you, because I'm gonna say this. When they mentioned it to me and I went to look at it, I seen the article that says Tank says giving oil to a man is not gay, and I couldn't even read the article.
Right.
See, I started off. I just heard. I didn't even know he said giving sex. I thought he said receiving that.
I don't care if you receive it
you're
or
right.
give it.
No. If another male erects you, arouses you, you're gay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't care how drunk I am, how cool we are.
Right.
Ain't no male going to arouse me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not concerned. I mean, that's how you roll. That's just how you roll. I had 3 first cousins. They're all women that are married, not in a relationship, are married, have children with, you know what I'm saying, another female.
Well,
So I don't knock that.
We can wait a minute. We can see. This is the problem. What I said before. We can accept a female. Matter of fact, we can get into a relationship with a female having sex with another female. Males, I mean, it's just for us. it's a guma guma goo.
Yeah, it's just something.
Okay.
Just something about it. Just like
Right. Now, there's a difference when you talk about he, she, he, okay, or he, okay. Yeah, me and you can have sex with this female, but we can't touch each other. Wow, I'm doing something right here. You better not even touch me, okay? You better not even. I'm telling you, it's just not there.
I mean, we keep this. I never been that type to even go there. I believe in that's double dribble.
See, what I don't
One
get
balls, one set of balls.
What I don't
to
get
the-
is like,
yeah.
what do you gain out of, even if you convince? Well, I mean, if you convince somebody, that's what you gain. But like, because this is not the first time I heard this. I remember years ago they used to talk about how the porno stars, them dudes, used to say they not gay, but they used to do porn with other men because it paid more money.
Right, but
Right.
see, let me
Like-
let me say this here, Tony, and I want you to understand this. When John Holmes and all them did porn with other men, it was gay porn.
Right.
They were classified as being gay.
But they don't. But they claim that they're not. Them
No,
personally, they claim they're not gay.
they don't say they're not gay.
Oh, you talking about John Holmes? That's like back in the
But
70s
right,
or something.
you
I'm
asked about
talking
those.
like
They don't say they're
10
not gay.
years ago.
No, they don't say they're gay, not gay. See, you have to understand.
It was
the
gay. That
the-
was considered gay porn.
no, right, but I'm saying this. Somebody that's doing that do not consider themselves gay now because we play on words. I'm bisexual. Okay?
Right.
See, bisexual means I can do a guy, I can do a girl, I can do an animal. But the bottom line is if you are engaged in a sexual act with a male and you are a male, you are gay.
Right. So that was my question. Like, what? Why
It's
even
funny
go
that you
to the
mentioned that.
trouble of trying to deny it? Like,
Well,
if
first
you're
of all,
doing it,
I read this
Because that macho image.
No. We going back.
there's
to
no
John
macho
Holmes.
image. If you on camera,
I read a
having-
real. It was Playboy. Playboy has the best. Or was it Hustle? They have the best. They have the best articles. I used to ask my father, "Why you always buying that for these?" You know, it's like I don't buy it for the women. I buy it for the articles. I say whatever to myself, but it's flawless. Playboy used to come to the shop, and they used to have the. I learned a lot. I mean, a lot. Not just about this life and just a lot of things from Playboy articles. And they was writing about John Holmes, and well, you know, he was a real bad drug addict.
Right, and
And that's it. He fell totally off. You know what I'm saying? Like women didn't want to sleep with him anymore. He was going broke, plus his drug. You know what I'm saying?
well, he's the one that started
That's what happened.
on the down low here. Let me say I shouldn't even say that on the down low because let me get correct here. But John Holmes is the one who they claim spreaded AIDS through the porn industry and damn near took it bankrupt because he was having, as you said, down low sex with gay men, okay, and was wearing a mask so wouldn't nobody know that he was doing that. And then he was going back having unprotected sex with females who also was going having unprotected sex with other people, okay? And that's dangerous. And in the classification right there, they tell you that if you have sex with a same partner sex, you're gay.
it's a sick world out here, man. So I mean,
Well, you know, to each his own. I'm not gonna say they're sick. I'm not gonna say that anything. I'm
Well,
gonna,
I mean, 'cause it's a lot of we can
I'm just gonna say this. That's not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
I can't be politically correct.
yeah, when I say sick, I mean like the scenario you just
Right.
described, where you know all these miscellaneous sex partners, you don't know their orientation or their lifestyle all the way around, and you don't know like what they may be
Right, what they into. You got
transmitting and
to-
all
in my- in my-
all the dangers of this
in my day, everybody it was catching syphilis, okay, or the clap. And then I think what was the other big one?
herpes.
No, herpes wasn't around then.
It wasn't around.
It was the claps, syphilis, what's the bugs? Crabs, okay? And we could take a shot, okay? Then and after Vietnam, that's when herpes and everything started going on and you couldn't get shots no more, okay? And
Yeah, my
then
father said.
then it came into the era where AIDS started coming from the bathhouses in New York, because that's where I'm not going to say it started in New York, but that's where it ballooned and was traced back to white men's having gay sex in the bathhouses with everybody and going home to their wives, okay? And then that spread it to heterosexual. And then when you start looking at Rock Hudson, he died from AIDS.
Who? From
Rock
from
Hudson.
Rock?
Yeah.
For real?
Right.
You didn't know
Everybody
that?
said he was gay.
I did not know that.
And look at the other stars that everybody said was gay or something that passed from AIDS. And then you have Richard Pryor. They were saying it was having sex with Marlon Brando. Okay. Then you look at that industry right there, where the young girls were saying that they had to have sex with everybody, and they was having moderate trials and orgies. And then you have to look at the '60s, where acid came in and everybody was having sex at Woodstock and doing all the crazy stuff. But back then you could take a shot. Now it's a death sentence. And now they saying they got
Well, not so much a death sentence. Even with AIDS, like people can live with AIDS.
no, not AIDS. They can live.
They can live with AIDS.
No, not AIDS. I thought it was
HIV.
HIV.
But even full-blown
you can
AIDS,
live.
you can live like a prolonged period of time. Like before, you might be dead in a matter of years or so.
Oh,
Like
I didn't say I didn't haven't researched
The
that. I
medication
thought
they
it had to be HIV if it turned into AIDS, that it was a death sentence. So I stand corrected, because I haven't looked at it, because you know what? That's not my cup of tea, and I ain't going that way, because I learned to cover up. It ain't like it was when I was in college or anything, and like I said, back then you can get a shot and everything was fine. Now you can't even get a shot.
Well, I mean, like I said, they got medication, so people like like I've read about communities like of people with AIDS, like they
San Francisco,
Atlanta, like mainly San Francisco.
I just read an article on Atlanta, and it says the women in Atlanta, about a lot of I would say 30 or 40% of the women in Atlanta has
That's a
AIDS.
lot. That's a lot
Right.
of people.
I just read that article last week. It was last week. The Atlanta ADC and Health Department put that out, that syphilis was making a comeback and everything, and we have to be conscious
It's real
of our
high.
health.
It's real high in Atlanta. Then it's also real high in Baltimore. You have drug use. Shooting up
Right.
needles and stuff.
Well,
like
drug use is the thing, but over in Denmark and other places overseas, they have a needle program that they give people needles, and then they can come in and throw the old ones away, and they tell you not to use. But Jay, I want to talk about this for a minute on free fall, because everybody talking about this. Cavaliers lost their first game, so I know everybody talking about my
It's a hell of a
Cavs.
transition.
Okay, and I know everybody talking about my Cavs. So yeah, they lost their first game. But the question, Jay, is what the hell's going on with LeBron and AD?
Well, it's not surprising, but I mean, I did pick them, but once I
Did you
one
see?
game.
it's just one game.
Well, yeah, Tony, it is one game. That's what I'm telling everybody. But you know what? Everybody looking at that one game and watch the LA Clippers with Karan and them from Orlando, and they cut off into the Lakers' rumps.
Let them ball out. See, this is the.
So how far you say in before you say something?
I was talking about this at work with some guys the other day. All LeBron and the Lakers got to do is make the playoffs, and then they can really turn up. Like they don't like every game count, but you don't want to take.
No,
you don't want to risk
not the East. He's out West. He's not going to coast to the playoffs.
But wait a minute.
They're guaranteed to go to the playoffs.
Hold on. Let me say. Hold on. Let me say.
I'm not saying he's not going to coast to the playoffs how he did out here in the East.
But
John,
John,
nobody from the East, if they did go to the finals that we faced, was going to win the finals.
But John, just wait a minute before y'all finish. Let me say
when
this.
LeBron was playing here.
Let me say this.
So the people he went to, whether he won or not, they weren't going to.
But see, let me say this. They had the Lakers as number one. Well, they had the Lakers, the Warriors, Houston, San Antonio. The Clippers wasn't even on the list.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? Like
They would never, the highest they ever got.
To be factors in anything.
Yeah.
A few years ago where they had
No, I'm talking
Chris
about
Paul
this
and
year.
Blake
No,
Griffin.
I'm talking about this
Oh, no,
year.
they were on the list. Ever since Kawhi went to the Clippers, they was considered one of the teams.
That's what he's saying.
Okay.
No, he just said they wasn't on the list. They wasn't considered.
They wasn't considered to do anything with the Lakers and the Warriors. Now they look like they may take both of them.
Ever since Kawhi signed to the Clippers, they was considered one of the contenders.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
No, that's not what he's
No,
saying.
no. What I'm saying was they wasn't on the list, Jay. That's what I'm saying. They wasn't on the list. They didn't think they was going to do anything.
Oh, before, no, they were on the list.
As soon as Kawhi signed up with them, they was considered one of the teams to beat in the West.
Yeah. I never considered Houston. People say Houston, because they got people look at individual points and things and individual stats. They're gonna get together. They're gonna do things right. You gotta watch how a team plays with other teammates and how they play. You know what I'm saying? I never thought. I mean, they couldn't do it the first time when they had Kevin Durant.
So what
talking about Houston? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way they play ball. I mean, like he's led the league. Well, not led the league. He has a triple double. He's had a triple double 3 straight. He averaging a triple double 3 straight seasons.
So what you think the Warriors going to do tonight?
The Warriors still, I really don't know. The Warriors are still the Warriors now. I mean, they went long. They don't have Klay Thompson, but like not Klay, but Stephen Curry is a bad boy.
Because the Lakers look like, I know it's just one game, but they look like they in trouble. And they sit your boy AD and LeBron down early.
Yeah,
I mean, that good defense.
It's only the first game.
But I'm saying, I mean, LeBron will go out and have good games against other teams, but he did good on defense. But he got defended well.
Who was defending? Was Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi. Yeah,
he
Kawhi.
always defending him well too. Even back in the Spurs, Kawhi.
Yeah.
That was he knew how to check LeBron.
So Tone, I'm going to ask this because Michael Wilkins in the chat room in L.A.
And they would have really they lost by 12 points.
Right.
And your boy went off. What's his name? Danny Green.
So let me. Michael Wilkins want to ask this to Tone.
Points. So who thought Green would come out and lead the team with 28 points?
Well, who thought that the Clippers was
prove.
going to beat the Lakers anyway? But Tone, where you see that at?
But I mean, I can't say I wasn't surprised. I was surprised, but it didn't surprise me.
The Clippers had something to prove. That's all.
Okay, so where do you see that at? I'm coming to you in a minute, Jay. Where you see that at?
I see. What do you mean, like for the season? The
coming
total,
out the East.
Coming
out the West. The West. I'm sorry.
I mean, honestly, my first assumption is that it's going to be the Clippers and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. And I'm picking the Lakers just because I still fuck with LeBron.
So you counting out the Warriors?
Yeah, I'm not paying attention.
Oh, you singing their death song already. Jay?
They still contenders.
No. I don't think they will do it. I feel maybe not this year. They got a couple more championships in there. I really feel like that. That was a strong team. They're well coached. How they play. They get another player. A player here and a player there, they'll be right back there.
So
they have their nucleus.
Because Klay gonna be out the whole season. That's why they gonna be this season is gonna be a wrap for
Well,
them.
They might come back towards the end.
Toward the end, right?
Oh, okay.
So Jay, where you see Tony Stone say L.A. and the Clippers in the championship? In the championship in the West. Who you see?
I see. Well, I really have to watch because everybody's speaking about Denver. Denver this. So I haven't watched them, but I like the Clippers. They have their defense, and Paul George and this their defense, and they took the Warriors to 7 games last year in the playoffs with Klay. I mean with Durant.
Durant, yeah.
First, you know what I'm saying? Didn't they take them to 7 games?
Yeah.
Who, the Clippers?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, Durant, you have to understand.
They won a couple games.
Right, they won a couple of games.
They are a good defensive, doggish team. And they have a bench that scores 60 points.
So Justin is in Cleveland's chat room, and he's talking about San Antonio. Anybody see San Antonio coming up in that area?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not aware. I haven't really been keeping up with
No, not at all.
All the
No, I
team
don't.
rosters and
I have,
everything.
and they're a good, solid
so I'm
team.
not really aware about them.
But I don't see nowhere. No, they have none of the greats that they have. And they were getting wings. They don't even have like a major top player.
How about this, Jay? We were talking about the Warriors a second ago. Your favorite of all time, Michael Jordan, he said Steph Curry, as of this moment, isn't a Hall of Fame caliber player.
I mean, you know what? I've been talking about this all day. First of all, he didn't say it like that. He said it.
He said right now he's not Hall of Fame worthy.
No. He said he's a great player, but he's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Of course
he's not a Hall
still
of Fame.
Playing,
He's
but,
not, I mean, he's
but
not
if
a Hall
his
of Fame.
career ended today, you don't think he would be worthy of going to the Hall of
He
Fame?
said he's not Hall of Fame ready. Well,
Well, I mean, but put like
quality.
this. Who does everybody? Here's some people tend to forget. Reggie Miller didn't make it to the. He's not in the first round. He's in the Hall of Fame, but he didn't even make it to the first round. Reggie Miller,
I think
who everybody.
Steph Curry is a much better player than Reggie Miller. But he's already surpassed his shooting records. He's already got 3 championships.
I would say it myself, but I've seen things not always work out. If it ended right now, maybe not.
Or is it 4?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Y'all hold that thought for a minute. Hold that thought, Jay. Hold that thought.
Face is big, I can't lose. Sugar bow down, I'm the next to rule, but I'ma stay on the cool, remain on the under, cause like Andre 3000, your boy's ice cold. Ain't no limit to the gimmicks and ways to make money. No limit to the just to act funny when you get that cake, cause you spit that way. They may love you tomorrow when they hate you today, but yo, that's the way the story goes. So I was told, following the ramble down the yellow brick road, but people believe at the end ain't no pie to go. Just some platinum beats from the Cleveland streets.
Hey, it's that time again. We at the end. Let's stop the madness. Keep it 100. Tone the Stone.
Yeah, thanks for another great show, Sean, Jay. It's always a pleasure sitting here kicking it with y'all fellas, talking about all the real stuff, trying to bring attention to the things we need to do out here in this world to stop the madness, if that's at all possible. We'll be back here next week, Thursday, from 6 to 8. Make sure y'all tune in, STMK Radio 100. Stop the madness live.
Jay Mack from the shop. Jay, you know you just called it. Everybody's going to go and be looking at see what the Warriors going to do. What you thinking right now?
We was just hollering about so much different stuff. I was going so many different places. One thing I was thinking about was being in bad relationships where things are physical. You need to escape women. And men also. Stay out of bad relationships where it's violence.
Hey, that's good advice. I'm your host, Shawn L. Hey, let me say this right now. We're going to be with the kids Thursday for Halloween. You can catch us Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on STMK Radio 100 and USTREAM. Everybody on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Snapchat. Hey, thank y'all for joining us in the chat room. Until next week, I'm your host, Shawn L. See ya.
You've been listening to Stop the Madness, Keep It 100 on STMK Radio 100.